Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is your Business and Marketing Roundtable, and we have a special series right now, which is You Ask and We Answer. My name is Tessa. I'm a marketing strategist, and this is Kai Allday, who's a business coach. I know we don't have our banners up there right now, but here we go. There's us. So we wanted to do this special series to be able to answer questions live for anyone that comes on, or you can submit a question on the posts that we have in Women Helping Women in our channels. So it's going to be an ongoing thing. And this is actually MoveTV. We used to do MoveTV, which was momentum, and we get questions all the time. And so we are just answering our knowledge, but we do this in our business clinic too, and it goes much deeper. So this is a high level version of answering the questions. If you want more info, obviously reach out to us. But Kai, what's our first question for today?
Okay, so the first question, which is always a fun question, is how do you do it all?
Well, and I asked Kai this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I think I did. I said, what in the heck? You're the business owner, you have all these hats you're wearing. It just gets stressful. And when you want to grow your business, it gets worse. I mean, it's how it feels.
Don't tell people that.
No, I'm just saying, I'm being totally honest. I feel you if you're in that boat where you're like, man, I'm trying to grow, so I'm doing more, but I just seem like I'm doing more and there's no time to get anything accomplished. So Kai, can you tell them some of the advice that you gave me?
Oh, yeah. So priorities. I know that that's such a lame answer, but here's what I mean when I say priorities. First of all, if you haven't done it, I know we have a show on it that we've talked about, but what is the strategy? And I always go back to the strategy because the strategy should be how you're actually running your day-to-day business. So for example, if we have this strategy where, hey, this is the place where we're going to show up. I'm just going to make one up. Okay. So we're going to show up on Instagram, and this is where we're going to nurture and develop relationships. And then from there, we're going to, do a webinar or invite people to a webinar. And then we're going to get onto a call. And, what is your actual plan? What is the journey that the customer is going on that is leading to the sale? And then when you can look at that and then understand, that will really give you your priorities. Because what happens is we know, okay, here I have to do A, B, and C to get the sale right here. But what we do is we watch Instagram and then we're like, oh my gosh, I should be doing that in my business. I should make this new reel. I should now get this new CRM, or I should create a new nurture sequence. Like, I should do all the things. And this is really what puts us in this place where we're overwhelmed. We've ignored the strategy and what actually brings the income in. And we're doing everything that all of the other people are saying. And what they're saying isn't necessarily wrong. But if it doesn't align to your strategy, right, then it doesn't make sense for you to waste time over here when what you need to be doing is focusing here. So what I told Tessa yesterday was, you need to block your calendar. You have to, first of all, understand how do you work. Some people work better when they're jumping from one different thing to another because they kind of need to keep it fresh, or else they get bored, lose interest, and they stop. For other people, they need to be able to finish a task so that they're not constantly thinking about that while having to do 10,000 other things, right? And so Tessa is one of those people, and so am I. So what I do is I block the time. I put it on a calendar. So just yesterday, I wrote myself a note like, hey, I need to block time for content creation, right? So what I do is I have one day a week where I'm creating content, whether it's for a podcast, whether I'm going on somebody else's summit, but all of that stuff where I'm creating content goes onto this one block of time. Now, for me, that is how I work best. So for Tessa, what she was doing is she has a strategy, which is we're going to answer in the next question. But, what she's doing is she's having people that she's talking to, and then they are booking time with her in these little, wherever she has time. And she's a very busy lady. So it's like, okay, I have this, I'm doing this, and then somebody I'm on a call with, and then I'm doing this, and then there's somebody I'm on a call with. And so she's like stressing, right?
Yes.
And so I'm like, just put them on one day. Do all of your calls. Like you can either have it, 2 hours a day. You can have it 1 day a week. You can, whatever that looks like, but you decide when people can get on your calendar. And I think a lot of us, especially when you come from a place where you want to be impactful and you want to provide help or guidance, right? A lot of times what that does is we become the doormat and we forget that we're the ones who set the boundaries, right? And so we are stressed because we're doing it to ourselves. But really all we did was, it's not their fault. We gave them a calendar link. They found a time. They showed up. Like they have no idea. So we could have set that boundary ahead of time.
Yes.
Right. And
I think that's super important too, because exactly like what Kai said, my brain is in the moment with that person, with that thing. So the time that I've blocked, I can't have distractions in my world. Like I don't even have the TV on. Some people think that's crazy, but like it's silent. You get 100% of me. So I just thought in my head, I'm trying to grow. We are growing what we're doing. We're offering a lot more help to people than we used to. And so I was just like, I need to be available more for them. And so I think there's that important point where you decide when is it helpful and when is it actually hurting your business when you are too available. And I had no boundaries. I would tell you 12 o'clock at night. Sure. Let's work. So I personally am a workaholic and I have to remember that, look, we need these boundaries to keep our own selves healthy. So if you're in that boat where you're overstressed or you find yourself just like frazzled by the end of the week, you really can't accomplish anything else because you've done too much already. That would be a great way. Start time blocking and putting things in like items. So if you have a series of things that you have to do, like batch them together on the same day. So you're not coming back and trying to figure out where you left off. That is my other thing that I decided is going to happen, which is, all of the shows that we do when we go live, they're Thursdays and Fridays, period. I don't do anything else on the other days, but I think that's a huge one. And this one really helped me because I was stressed. So let us know in the chat if you're in that boat, if you feel like you're trying to do all of the things. I'm just curious. And have you mastered it? So we want your advice. That's why we do the free business clinic that we are called to do, really, is to bring in other people and their ideas too, to answer questions, but to get everyone networking and helping each other. So I will throw a link in about that at the end. So make sure you either that or we'll pin it to the top.
And for those of you who signed up, we did send an email, but we haven't heard back. So check your spam because it's probably sitting in there. So just a heads up. But hey, so back to that question, and just to, make sure that we all got it, is how do you do it all? We don't. We prioritize by looking at the strategy, and we only do those things. We ignore the influencers, and even if it's great advice, hey, then we shelve it for when it's that time. But it also has to align with the strategy. So the strategy is the first and foremost, right? Your marketing strategy, your business plan, not the business plan that you go to the bank with. Okay.
Right. Not that much.
But
this is simple business
this
plan.
tells us what to do. Right. And it always, whenever I look at the week, what I was telling Tessa, when you're blocking that time, you prioritize what brings in money. Right.
IPAs, income producing activities.
Exactly. Because you can do all the things, but if you're not bringing the money, you're going to be going and getting a job or stressing and not able to deliver as high of a quality service as you want to. So that's just a real quick brief on what we just covered. But now, Tessa, I have a question for you.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And this question is something that we get asked all the time because she does marketing and I do strategy. What strategies did you first use to market your business?
Oh, I love this one because it's come full circle. I used LinkedIn as one of the biggest ways to get my first clients. In fact, I had no website, and I'm a web designer. I started way back then with no website, and I was reaching out to people on LinkedIn at that time. And now this is a long time ago, guys. So like there wasn't job recruiting in LinkedIn back then. There wasn't none of that that side. So I literally was targeting people that I wanted to work with, and then, building a relationship on LinkedIn. And now that's what technology has come so far. So you can do a lot more in LinkedIn than you used to, which is why my calendar is full of appointments right now. So it is very effective if you're building the relationship with the right target audience, and you're, starting the conversations and getting them to kind of filter themselves through your, you have a filter process, which is going to take out the people who are not going to take action and put those that are ready to do something into your calendar. So even though I need to time block and put them all into one day, that's very effective for me. I never was a social media person, so I did not spend, I'm not a content creator. We do a lot of content, what we call potatoes and fries. Like, we try to be very strategic about what we're putting out there. But like, the thought of sitting there and trying to figure out the next post just makes my skin crawl. Like,
Well,
no, I don't want to.
We do this strategy for people and we create content for people. But, when it comes to our own business, like, we focus on other people, and then we do what comes up, right? And so that we wouldn't say that that's the best way, but what we would say is you need to understand where are you getting your leads, because what happens, and this is why we don't do a ton of social media, because that's not where we get our leads. So that's why we don't focus a lot of our attention there. Now, it is
what helps to make it helps make people's mind up. Like, they're going to fall in love with you. It's a nurture tactic. It is not how you get business. So, a lot of people are like, I need to put more content out there. Well, if the content is, again, in line with your strategy, that's a good way to get conversation started and to open a door. What we consider the front of the funnel. There might be a way for you to open a door through a post, but the likeliness, 4% of your audience sees any post at a given time. So really, you're very, very few people. Whereas, you have other tactics, other strategies that you can put into place that reach a heck of a lot more people, like ads, which, I'd rather spend the money on an ad that's optimized and is turning around leads than, just putting out daily posts, because I know how much work is going to be involved in daily posts. But we have strategies.
Hold on.
So if you are a content creator, you're probably not going to be super fans of us, because we're like, well, we'll work around it and create content in an easier way. But if you're the type that doesn't want to spend your every living moment on social media, then we are the girls to follow, for sure.
Especially if that's not your business, your business strategy, right? So I would say I love to be on social media, but I don't necessarily like to do social media, right? So because I find I can get a bigger bang for my buck with other things, right? I can get in front of other people's audiences. So for example, at the end or the middle of this month, I'm going to be speaking on a summit, right? For a woman who is also a business coach, but she is very specific to confidence coaching in your business, right? So I'm going to be speaking on her I guess you could say stage. And she is a radio host, top 2.5% radio host, right? And so I'm going to speak on her stage. So it's her audience. She's doing all of this work. I just need to show up and deliver really well, right? And so that's one way for me to get in front of a lot of people one time without having to, okay, I hope somebody sees this post. I hope somebody sees this post, right? And so you just have to understand, like we said, what is your strategy?
And what do you
where
like?
is,
are you a stage person? Are you going to get up in front like Kai, or are you going to, I'm okay if it's not, if I can control the environment. So I'm okay with live.
A good networker, like
yes, networking
personally, right? And that's why she has that strategy. So we both do these strategies, the same business. And we're very fortunate because there's two of us. So we both get to kind of do these two different things and bring it together, right? But what do you like to do? So if you love to create content and viral videos, do it, but make sure that it aligns with the strategy. Like, what is it? Because this is what we often get, are people coming to us who have, so some people have done PR, right? So they go and they hire a PR person and they get all these accolades and everything. And they're like, but I don't know what to do with it. Like,
Yep.
So I'm here and I have all these things on my website and people see it, but then that's kind of like where it stops. Some people create viral videos. I know somebody who got onto the Oprah show, got their product in, to Oprah's, like, what is that thing that she does?
Oh, the
You get
feature.
one.
The giveaway.
So one of those, and, business blew up for 2 years, but they didn't know how to manage it. And they didn't know what to do with all of the people coming in. And so it didn't take off. It lasted for like this short amount of time. And then that was it. And now they're back where they started. And so these are the things that you really have to consider. It's not just about going viral, but what is that viral post leading to? Where is it going? What's that funnel look like? So when we talk about what are the strategies that, we first used in our business, it was the ones that were free, number one.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, none of it had ad dollars behind it.
No.
So LinkedIn, you can spend time rather than time is expensive.
Yes.
So just know that.
But it's not coming out of your wallet.
It's not a cash.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then getting on collaborative, that's building relationships. So you're not paying to be part of a summit. You're offering your expertise. So,
exactly.
Well, I know we have a few more questions, and I just want to say that for those of you that are just joining us, make sure that you let us know that you're watching, because if you're silently there, we can't help you later. So let us know if #live or #replay. And if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll answer those questions for you.
Yeah, this is a series.
It is.
Get your questions here or on the post that we did in the group. It doesn't really matter. Just put your questions in and then we'll be able to answer them.
And again, we're doing the free business clinic. So it is something that normally coaching with us is obviously, it's not cheap, but we have been called to do the free business clinic, which is just designed to help you to get through those challenges that you have in your business. There's no obligation and no selling on it. Absolutely none. You can join the free business clinic. The link's in the chat. I will put that up on the screen too. We talked about it. We had a ton of people who wanted to come. I should say there's HTTPS on the front of that. Here, we'll just do that one. There we go. So you can sign up and you can be anonymous. You can be a hot seat person who's we're literally coaching you live, or you can just watch and learn and participate. So we'd love to have you guys come over and join us for that. And if you haven't, if you filled out the form, like Kai said, you might have an email in your inbox. Just double check and see if you have that. If you give us your phone number, we'll make sure that you get all the information by text.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Excellent. Well, do we have one last question we can squeeze in since we have 10 more minutes?
Well, we don't have questions that we're answering, but we do have questions that you should be asking yourself as a business leader, CEO, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you call yourself. And so here are a few questions that I would say, I always talk about CEO time. So this is time where you should set aside in your business, not to be in the weeds, but to really look from the outside looking in. It's a time where you should be evaluating what's working, what's not working, what are the things we should be asking ourselves. And so I tell people you should really do this at least, once a week, preferably. But I know that it is hard. I mean, with the first question being like, how do you do it all? You're like, you want me to do one more thing? And so, no. But I would say if you can't do it every week, and this can just be 45 minutes, to a couple of hours. It's really up to you. But at least
it's your CEO time, right? So we talk about giving yourself that in your business. So if you gave yourself like a little block somewhere for CEO time, but what are the questions we need to ask ourselves?
Okay. So here's a few questions, and it depends where you are in your journey. And so I'm going to give you a few questions for those of you who are in the beginning, middle, towards you've been around for a while. Okay. So one of them is this. How likely is it that a customer would recommend our company to a friend or colleague? And this is by Andrew Taylor. He was actually one of my old bosses, Enterprise Holdings. And so that is the question, is how likely is it that a customer would recommend our company to a friend or colleague? Really ask yourself this. And the reason I put this as one of those questions is because oftentimes what happens is we focus so much on the sale and making the money that we forget about the experience.
Yes.
And I'm
is so
huge
good at
on experience.
She's so good at the experience. I'm like, wow, I'm blown away by what I should be changing in how I work with my clients. I'm like,
Well,
I get the task done.
Yeah. And so you execute, you do what they're expecting, and they're paying you for that execution, but the experience is what makes you memorable. The experience is what gets people to refer you out. The experience is really how you can charge a higher amount because you are putting more into it. And it's also what helps you to become a scalable business in the end, right? Mm-hmm. So just a heads up. That's why I chose that one. Now, here is another one that I think is a really good one. And it is, what is it like to work for me? For those of you who you either have a team, you're thinking about getting a team, you work with contractors, subcontractors, I really think you should ask yourself this. What is it like to work for me? Are people, and here's how you can evaluate. If you have contractors, subcontractors, or a teammate that's always asking you questions about something you assign them, that should be one tell that you're not clear, right? You're not giving them the parameters that they need. And oftentimes this is actually very normal. So don't beat yourself up over there. But oftentimes we do a lot in here and not a lot through here. So we think about it. We understand the problem because it's our problem. We understand the product because it's our product. And then we forget that other people don't live in here. So just a reminder.
That's a great one.
Yeah, you can gauge it. So even if you are currently an employee and you have people who work with you, you can gauge how that relationship looks. Are they always asking you questions? Are you always being asked to do something over again? That might speak to quality. Are you, like, what are the things that you experience that maybe irritate you? Or that gets you, like a pat on the back, like, hey, that was amazing. Because that will really tell you what is it about you that you should really lean into, and what are some of those areas that you can stretch yourself in to be a better leader, right? Okay.
Oh, critical if you want to scale. Critical if you want to scale.
Yeah, very critical. 2 more questions. As a company, as your business, are you relevant? And will you be relevant in 5 to 10 years from now? And really, what does that mean? Like, what do you think of that if I tell you that?
Well, I mean, are you known? Are you making an impact? Are you making an impact? Is my big picture of that.
I'm glad that I asked, because see, that tells me that I'm not being clear. So are we relevant? It means, like, is this a business that's, it's in a year from now, I'm creating a product that nobody's going to need? Is it something that right now people need? And then how do we keep it relevant? So for example, if Apple came out with their first round of phones, and maybe they did version 1, version 2, and then they stopped. It was a really cool piece of technology, but it would no longer be relevant in today's time. It's the same product, but it has grown from feedback, with time, with all the things that are available to us. And that's how our product should be. So don't get stagnant in thinking my offer is amazing. This is it. This is all that it's ever going to be. Your business should be constantly growing, right? It should never be stagnant. So if you're doing the same thing now that you were doing 10 years ago, and you are struggling to get the leads or to, whatever it is, then really think about that. Are you relevant? And sometimes the relevancy is not in the offer that you're delivering, because maybe that's amazing, but it could just be in your messaging, in your copy, on your presence, right? All those things.
Things change. Like AI has changed the face of the planet now. It's definitely something that is going to help people to work faster. And so if you haven't even taken a look at AI yet, you probably are going to be not as relevant if you're still stuck in the, hey, I'm going to do this and take 8 hours to do this round. So and if you have any questions about AI, I mean, we're in love with AI. With respect to the AI, Starlink, what are you saying? So we're respectfully learning that AI has some pretty amazing possibilities. But this is a great question. Are you relevant? Do you offer something that people need and will continue to need? Perfect. Yeah. And what's the last question?
The last question. What counts that we are not counting? And that is a question by Chip Conley. So what counts that we are not counting?
Let me put that on the board here so that what counts that we are not counting?
Yes.
Okay. So, I have no idea how to take that one.
Okay. So for example, what do you think matters in your business? Oftentimes we think profits matter, which it does. We think about cash flow. We think about, certain key metrics, right? Growth. But are we also thinking about the things that count, like how happy are our customers, or how often do they return to us, or are people talking about, like, there are so many other things that count that we don't pay attention to. Is the delivery experience amazing? And what we find, I'm going to tell you, I'm all about experience, as you can tell.
Yes.
But what I find very often is that people, they're so focused on getting the client, and then the client comes in, and then that's it. Like, that's it. So this person who could be a repeat customer, who could be lifelong, who could be the mouthpiece for your business, becomes a transaction. It's like they're that pasta that you had to go grab, and then you put it through the line, and now it's just going in the bag, and that's it. Like, that's all that we think about it until we need it again, right? And so that's really what matters. Is there are things that count in your business that oftentimes we don't look at, and oftentimes that has to do with customer experience and with your hires, your
team
work with. And that could be your team. It could be with people that you network with. It could be like anybody who helps to serve your business in some way, whether it's they're talking about your business, whether they're recommending it, whether they're a lead, whether they're receiving regular services. All of those things and how you treat those people and those relationships are very important. Even if it's a person who maybe you is like your not your web designer, but the person who, like, on the hosting, like, they're the person who's constantly making sure that everything's good, and they come and they tell you. That is important too, because, like, what if they're unhappy and they ghost you one day, and you don't know that it's happened because nobody's reached out, like, oh, it must be great, right? And then all of a sudden you got all these broken links because you didn't have a working relationship. You didn't think that was important. So just understand that it's not just about the, money and audience growth metrics. It's also about how we treat people that create more money and higher audience growth and longer retention. So.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I know we're at the bottom of the hour and we have to go, but guys, we are here every Thursday if we can, because we have to. Some weeks maybe we don't get that slot, but for then this is our hopefully permanent slot, 10 a.m. on Thursdays and at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you have questions, please go and put them in the chat here, or you can do the posts on any of our channels, but we're Move to CEO everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, follow us, hit the bell to get reminders. And guys, we're here for you. That's what we are called to do, is help female business owners, all business owners, but really we think it's an underserved area. So we want to be able to offer you guys the best of the best, and obviously the customer experience too, as Kai has talked about. And we have lots more advice, business and marketing advice for you guys. We'll see you all next week. Have a blessed week.
Bye.
Bye.